Okay, folks, good evening. Happy Friday. A little while to get started here, get some things situated. And we can kick some ass together. I could do all this ahead of time, but I like to get on here as soon as I can. Might miss somebody. Says, oh, I guess he's not going to get on tonight. Guess again, pal. Here I am. Get all these usual suspects out of the way. Microsol and microset. Figured that one would fit in there. We got one for refill. That's my limit tonight. Okay. I had a near disaster I saw this morning. I had pulled the lid off of this floor care, and I never put it back on. And if I would have come in this morning and could have clipped that, I would have had a mess on my hands. So luckily I did not do that. I'm normally not careless, but that kind of stuff could happen to anybody, I guess. That's not exactly what I want to do first thing in the morning on a work day, especially on a work day. All right, what's in here? This is where the magnets go. All right, let's put the magnets back. I don't know why they're not in here. And sometimes you have to take back what things that take over your entire workspace. All right, we did get something in the mail today that I've been waiting on, and that is that I didn't know I had opposable toes. This wire that we're going to use for the antennas, I got the stuff the other day. It was too thick, so this stuff is the thinnest one they make, and it's .015 music wire. So let's cut this open and see if this will work for us. I'm looking for an alternative other than sprue. I'm not really happy with the way sprue behaves. See if we can get away with just taking one of these out. I want to keep it in this container because I've got nowhere to put it. Okay, the end is, here we go. Okay, it's got teeth on it. Why isn't it coming out? Is it that tight a grip around this thing? In the packaging? Yeah, I guess so. There we go. no idea where to put this. How about there in the tray of the trough of stuff? Okay, this stuff's pretty springy. All right, well, the first guinea pig is going to be the Panzer II. I know she's ready. Let me go ahead and grab her. And the two Panthers, although I don't remember if they actually have an antenna mount or not. If it's something I gotta build, then we're gonna punt on that. We're not getting into that tonight. Marcus, welcome back. You placed a small order with who? Who was I talking about? Let me see if let me get a Panzer II L out here. Panzer II L drawing. Honestly, the drawings are probably the best thing. You can see it from all kinds of different angles, and hopefully it has the Now, I know one of these has an antenna that has a 5 points. We're not doing that. I mean, you know, they make one, but I'm not going to go and buy that at this point in time. That's just looking for problems. Okay, so it's got a tall one and a short one. Was I able to drill both of them out? I was. Okay, cool. Yeah. We're going to go with this one. And if this drawing isn't accurate, oh well. I'm not going to research what radio it is and how long the antenna is. I mean, at some point, you're just basically screwing yourself out of time. Read my first comment. That is the first comment. The first comment is, I just placed a small order with them today for the first time, so can't speak to their execution. Hey Glenn, welcome back. Okay, let's see if this fits in this hole. It does. That's excellent. Okay. And then obviously this one fits in this one because this one's huge. Okay, so based on this drawing, they end up being about the same length, just one of them comes from the turret. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and how many times the height of the tank is it, of the turret? 2 again. So about there, about there. Okay, this isn't precision, nor does it want to be. I don't know if I can cut this with a scissor. We'll use these clippers that are way overkill for it. And we're looking to go about like that. And then just so I can get in the habit of doing it, because some people like freak out about this and needles. We're going to scrape this thing down so it doesn't poke through the skin. based on that length, the one from here will be about so. Okay. Your comment is not getting posted. Yeah, it didn't get posted. Check out Toy Soldiers Depot for Pegasus KV set. Let's see. You're running reconnaissance for me. You really want me to see? You really want me to do that, don't you? It's gonna look stellar, and you know it. You know if I do one of those, it's gonna look awesome. Toy Soldiers Depot. I wish somebody would give me an answer why they don't make them anymore. Let's see what we got here. Contact us. I think I'll be contacting them before I put an order in. I don't want to get screwed. Let's see what we got here. Pegasus, 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 Pegasus. Let's just do a search for Pegasus. Well, it says 2 available on some of these things. Let's see what we got here. 1 available. How much is shipping? Calculate delivery fees. Okay. Oh, $11 shipping. Holy shit. And they only have 1. All right, I'm gonna have to think about that. And if it's gone, then it's gone. But I appreciate that. $11 is a bit much for shipping. You know, if they had like 3 of them, you know, the price is good. If they had like 3 of them, I'd be like, okay, well, I'll get 3 of them, and then it could just dissipate the cost on that. Yeah, let me think about that. But I appreciate you looking out for the greater good. Yeah, I know when I got the Pegasus kits that I got, I'm like, oh, these are a piece of shit. I looked at the plastic, I'm like, these are no good. But do they have the houses? Do they have some Russian houses maybe? No. What else? I'll have to. I love surfing for stuff, so maybe there'll be something else I can combine with it. But I much appreciated. I don't know what the reasoning on why they're out of them. I don't know why they stopped manufacturing them. Okay, so these 2 go for the Panzer II. If we're going to mix up epoxy, let's now. God, where's the antenna on the Panther? I want to say it's in a terrible place. Okay, I should just get my gun. Right? That's why we have these books. Is it already out here? It is. Please be somewhere I don't have to make a mount for it. And I'm not interested in an IPMS level model, but you know, if the vehicle has stuff that's important to what it looks like it's on the whole. Not the D. Let's get a G just to be safe. both G's, unfortunately. Unfortunately, because I like the earlier stuff. Okay, it looks like it's this spot here and that spot there. That is an excellent place if that's in fact where it is. I'll drill both of those out. Looks like it. Yep. And it's twice as tall as a turret, roughly. Okay. Let's drill it out. Because that one's ready to go. That one's ready to go, and I survived all week, or most of the week, just doing this hobby stuff with using readers, but I know today that we're going to have to use some fine detailed stuff, so we went ahead and took the contacts out completely. I think this is the size to go with. They do want it to be a little bit bigger because you need to have some space for the glue to be in there, and my gut reaction is to use epoxy, not to use super glue, because the epoxy has a little bit of give in it, and the super glue is just brittle. And the first sign of trouble, that super glue is going to snap, and then you've got nothing. All right, let's get rid of the screen so I can see the wisdom that you guys share with me. Ben Waddy, welcome back. Okay, so we're going to, let's take that off just for good measure. Let's find the center spot. Some more for this drill bit to get a purchase on. And I don't know how deep this is, but I don't want to go too deep and go all the way through, and I got a different problem on my hands. Maybe like that. I'm gonna go through, aren't I? But it's not really biting into this very well. Let's check the thickness. No, I feel like it's got to go deeper than that. I can also go down a size. Okay, so weekend report. We will have a show tomorrow morning, and that's probably it. And Sunday, we're not going to have a Sunday morning show. I'm going to be out of town again. I might as well let you guys know. You might plan your whole weekend around me. I doubt that's the case, but it's the courteous thing to do. It's what I would want somebody to do to me. Okay. I feel like this isn't biting at all. And this isn't one of the square ones. I don't care if it goes in. We need to be deeper to be able to grab that wire. Okay. This one, and let's take the Britannia one. So I watched a video at lunchtime about how to make packs and stuff out of green stuff. And I'm not doing it on camera because I don't mind making mistakes. I don't really want to make a video about me not knowing what the hell I'm doing. Like drinking this one that's closed when I've got stuff in here. I don't like making videos about something that I really shouldn't get into because I get all kinds of suggestions shouted at me, and it's just really distracting. So, but I may do some stuff to doctor up that Panzer IV that I got, the Frankenpanzer. Okay, this isn't very deep at all, but honestly, this is getting really difficult to drill into. There's just not enough of a purchase there to do that. We gotta go deeper. This is why I like plastic the best. It's just in there so little. Hey Justin, happy Friday. Welcome back. All right, I feel like I didn't make much progress on that. I'm not. I don't know why it's so difficult. Maybe this is maybe it's this thing. Yeah, that one looks about the same. I don't need to make it bigger. That just creates more problems for me. Okay, how about let's try this. This takes patience. It takes patience and yeah, this thing's flexing on me. I'm gonna end up breaking it if I'm not too careful. Okay, I feel like that went significantly deeper. Yeah, it's a little better. All right, we're gonna leave that where it is. This is the antenna for the other one. We said the antenna for this was twice as high as the turret, roughly. Okay, so let's put that in place. Let's get the wire piece. And it's gonna go here. So it's gonna be about that tall. Yeah, the Panthers are done. I was just waiting on getting the antennas in. And I'm going to make them out of wire, not sprue, because the sprue is very brittle. It's very brittle and like, I put some sprue on it, it looks great, and then you walk away from it, and it didn't last. Didn't last. It broke off and all right, I've got this thinner one in there now. So let's go the distance with this one. Okay, we're all the way in. That's fine. That's oh look, it's a tight fit because it goes pulling this thing out. Okay, now. Now we got a better purchase on that. All right, let me go back to it. Secret is you can't give up. If you give up, you'll never get it done. Persistence is the key to victory. Okay. What else is in that batch? Was there another vehicle? Yeah, the Panzer III, but I've got to do a 90-degree turn with that one. Let's leave that one alone. Let's mix up some epoxy. Let's mix up some epoxy. Yeah, not my model. It's bolt action's not for me. Not for me. I am going to eventually, if I play this game, it will. I don't know if I'm going to get around to playing this game, okay? Or I'm just doing these for model purposes. I'm just going to be upfront. If I do get to play this game, it will be filmed, okay? This stuff that I do will be filmed. It will be on film. So you guys are not going to miss anything. If there's something to be missed, you guys aren't going to miss it, because we're going to do it on here. So, but I don't want to be bogged down in the details of it. I feel like I need a new one, so I can find out where the clean spot is on it. You will see it as soon as I see it. Let's put it that way. I said this to somebody the other day, or a little while ago, and I said, you know, painting is therapeutic. Playing the games isn't. It's still fun, but it's not therapeutic. Do not need very much of this. I woke up this morning and actually got on the bike for a half hour, so that was good. Packs or packs? Yes, both. I just saw that now. Sorry about that, Ben. It's going to be like that, isn't it? All right, we're going to have to wait for it to hold itself into place on that one. Okay, this one should be able to all right, and the little guy, Mr. Pequeño. I find it very strange that a company that makes miniatures also makes the rules for them. I'm sorry, I'm just new at that. I know it's been going on for many years, but I still have trouble with the concept. When I started wargaming, that wasn't a thing. You either made miniatures or you made the rules. You didn't make both. And it's only a conflict of interest if they make it a conflict of interest. Like, oh, you have to play with our figures. You know, or we're going to make them in a weird-ass scale that nobody uses. So you say about painting versus gaming being therapeutic. I feel the same. Although when I paint, I daydream about how it will look when gaming. Yeah, and I can get my World War II fix playing video games if I need to. I can't. I'm gonna need to let this set a little bit more. I can't. I can't get it by just by playing and not modeling. But that's me. Some people just want to play and never build anything for it. I've never been one of those people. Whether I was doing 1/2400 scale naval or back in the day or this stuff now. And this may actually not work. I may end up having to go back to sprue, but I figured I'd give this a shot. The thickness of these is right. The sprue just wasn't cutting it. Playing by the rules suck when playing Flames of War. We never play with all the rules, just some. Yeah, see, I'm done with tournaments. That's why I'm done with tournaments. I'm done with well, these rules don't make any sense, but we have to play it by the book. And I'm fine playing things by the book because it's, fair, but I don't want to make compromises. If something's stupid and everybody I'm playing with agrees it's stupid, I don't see any reason by having to play it the same way that they have. I did it for many years, and I don't plan on doing it again. It's even worse if you're doing a tournament or, because then it's like, okay, well, you don't want to set a bad precedent, right? You don't want to be like, okay, well, the precedent is we can make up whatever rules you want. And then you got problems in a tournament setting. I may have to re-drill this deeper, but that'll be for another day if that's the case. The only reason I ever did tournaments to begin with is to play with my own stuff. Because if you don't play with your own stuff, then why are you even buying stuff? You're babysitting a bunch of stuff. Well, we just gotta let this set for a little bit, and I just don't know how durable this is gonna be. Well, one of the guys that I respect a lot uses wire, so. One of the painters that I respect a lot uses wire. Let's give it a shot, The sprue just wasn't lasting. And I think it's an integral part of the look of the vehicles, the antenna. It adds something of interest. What do I think of Zvezda 1/100 skill tanks? I wish I had them. Every time I'll do a search for something and like, oh, Zvezda makes that. Oh, and it's a good price. Oh, it's the 100 scale stuff, not the 72nd. I've never built anything Zvezda. They look, I've seen pictures of them, they look pretty good. But if it's like anything Eastern European, they don't do a good job of, putting all the where the pieces go on the model. You got to have a clue to build their stuff. They're not the most user friendly stuff, but they do have some Panther D's I've been eyeing. But I come across this stuff all the time. Oh, somebody does make a KV2 and it's a good price. Oh, it's 1/100. Damn it. You could play my game in 15 mil. That would work. It's a little too late for that for me, but at the time, 15 millimeter was just getting started for World War II stuff. And they didn't have a bunch of different poses for each figure, so the draw for me that even got me in this scale was the figures that were available in this size and what they look like. That was really the thing that made it the selling point. All right, let's take a look at this. And of course, when they're dry, we're going to paint these black, just so they stand out nicely. Well, we'll see. We'll have to be delicate with it. The Panzer II definitely looks... Now, this one's actually a 5-pointed antenna, and they make one. I'm not going to spend $20 or whatever to get it by the time it's... At some point, you got to say, okay, that's not a smart choice, That's not a wise choice. All right, I'm going to keep these guys here just so I can keep an eye on them. I don't want them to start drooping, and I'm not here to push it back into place. I got to coach these antennas. The Panzer III actually has a mount for it. And I'll show it to you. Because even though I said I wasn't going to fool with it, I may fool with it. It has a little side mount that goes on it, and the actual antenna, when it's retracted, will sit along this piece, which is actually should have a channel. Now, if I wanted it standing up, let's see what material is in here. I just have to take this wire and do a 90-degree turn with it. Maybe we'll try that. Sounds exciting, doesn't it? So, how long is the wire on the Panzer III? Let's grab the Panzer III book. And I got several of these models, so. And the only reason I didn't do these when I was doing them is because I didn't have this material available. I'm gonna guess it's probably twice as high as the turret. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Twice as high as the turret. All right, let's just try it. Let's just see what happens. Let's just see what happens. We got all kinds of tools to bend this stuff and all that. I don't need to put much of a bend in it. In other words, it doesn't have to go laterally very far. Just put the turret on here. So we're going to take this height from here to here, and we're going to make it a little taller than normal because we got to do a bend in it. Let's put that there. I'm going to say about right here. You bought a ton of 100 scale Zvezda stuff. Pre-built or kits? Oh, it's Amazon. New ones. Kits. Okay, that's what we're going to go with. Let's take... Where's this little guy I have that's hard as nails? This thing. Okay, I'm going to go its thickness. Clamp down on it. And we're going to put a 90-degree bend in this. And that was easy as shit. That was awesome. Holy smokes. That was easy as shit. And then we'll slide that bastard in. Holy cow, that was easy. We're going to do the other ones too. That's it, we're here. Where's the other ones we have? Here's one. Exact same model too. Did I only have one other one painted? What's this guy? Nope, this is a die-cast one as well. We got two more. Kit's never pre-built. Okay, cool. I got one of these tanks, a 3L that was donated to me that I need to put together. It's a Revell kit. I think I'm going to try to. I have the Eschi armored thing, the Schertzen for the turret. I think, and it's also an L. I think I'm going to build it with the Schertzen on the turret. Unless for some reason it doesn't fit on there very well. See, this one still has it. Still has it here, and I kind of rigged this. I'm going to unrig it. I literally made a piece and then put another one through it. And no, this is the way to do it. Let's drill this thing out as well. I didn't have all these drill bits and all this stuff 20 years ago. Okay, let's take, where's the remainder? Good Lord, it's big as a house. Or it's as long as a house. Okay, these tanks the antenna didn't turn sideways on them, so I'm going to move them out of the way so I don't accidentally clip them, and we got a different problem on our hands. Let's just move them out of the way. All three of them. Okay, where's the remainder? Here it is. I think that's it. That's the sprue. Well, I'm not spending any more time looking for it. Just grab another one. I will be reordering this stuff for this is the way to do the antennas. Sure seems like it. Under the pliers. Thank you. I really enjoyed just having readers on the whole week, because not having readers, I'm like a mole. I've got this field of view that I can't freaking see anything out of. Ben Waddy for the assist. Is the video backwards, Ben? Ben, producer Ben. Checks in the mail. going to file these things down because it looks like they're square, but this thing will go into your finger and it won't be nice. Parts from Flames of War and Adam Does Vespa. That's awesome. It's all the right way. You know, now it's all the right way this time. I don't know why at some point, every time I went on there, it would turn it 90 degrees. Now the nice thing is we can reproduce this 90-degree turn because it is the thickness of this particular device. So we'll just clip it again, give it a 90, and we're golden. All right. We got all these we got these 3 Panzer IIIs to do. And here's the spare. Put the spare right over there. Don't move. And let's do the epoxy again. Yeah, so I am a total noob when it comes to green stuff. I haven't experimented with it much, so we'll do that off camera because I really don't know what the hell I'm doing. It's like all of a sudden I'm like, hey, I'm gonna watch a video of me do computer programming. Well, I'm better at green stuff than computer programming. Is it dark out? Not completely. Not completely. You can see it up there. Up there at the top. It'll be dark in about 20 minutes for sure. Sunny right now in northern Michigan. That's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, what's crazy is when I went to 4th of July in Connecticut, and it didn't get dark till almost 10. That was crazy. That was crazy. I just hope they leave this time. I hate coming home from work and it being dark. It's just so depressing. It's so depressing. It's not depressing. It just makes you want to go to bed. And I'm like, I want to do something I wanted to do. Did you see my post on the Naval Wargaming group? I finished off those 2,400 medieval Asian ships I mentioned before. No. No ice. Yes, it's in here. Oh, you want me to crunch some ice? Well, we got to wait a little bit. You know me, Victor. I'm an ice whore. Excellent. I'm just going to use this to apply some of it on the inside. Ooh, that one's got a big old gap. So after we're done painting this batch of Nazi bastards, we'll go back and do the commie bastards. Just flip-flop between them. I thought I had drilled that out. Maybe I did not. This needs to set a little bit anyways. Oh, she's not wanting to turn. Why is that? It's all the same model. It's literally not turning. It's turning now. Oh, and broke off in there. Huh! Another obstacle to overcome. Another obstacle to overcome. Well, we're going to have to punt on you then. It's not your night. But I'm sure we will kick its ass. It just won't be tonight. I'm going to go ahead and leave this installed. Really, the antenna should be the length from here to there. Because if it's longer than that, it wouldn't fit in the channel. But then it's not much taller than that. Let's just rest that there. And do the same thing on this other one. Do I have any KV-2 Soviet tanks? Unfortunately, I do not. I've been on the lookout for this kit that comes. I could buy them individually, but I really didn't want to spend $17 plus shipping for one model. That's about what the going rate is on them. This company from, I thought it was from Russia. It's actually a Chinese company called Pegasus. They make a kit that has two tanks. They come in pairs, and you can make KV-1s or KV-2s, and it came with 4 turrets. So you can make them both KV-1s, you can make them both KV-2s, or one each. So what I was planning on doing is getting them, and then painting the 2 holes, and then 4 turrets, and that way I can switch them out however I need to. Because the holes on those things are just, they're early war. They didn't have time to really add a lot of stuff to them. So that was my plan, and then they're not really available. Marcus found a place where they were selling them online, but it's $11 shipping, so I need to think about if I really want to do that, or I'll just come across them. Maybe I'll wait until after the show. We got a show coming at the end of the month, and maybe there'll be some steals and deals there. Probably nothing as good as the last show I went to, but did this break off, or it just fell farther in? No, she broke off. Chinese drill. Where's the tweezer? That's probably equivalent to the size of it. Well, that's why you get so many of them, because they break. Yeah, it sounds cool. For some reason, it's like that one's been discontinued. They make all kinds of stuff. They make Czech 38s. They make King Tigers. They make BT7s, T26s, early and late T34s. They all come in pairs. And you can try to kill mine. Okay. Hey, Rick, good evening to you. You're not coming to the show, are you? You got a wedding to go to? I think, if I remember correctly, your son, how rudely decided to get married at the same time the convention's going on. I mean, the convention's only going on twice a year, and that's when he decides to show up. That's just, rude. I wouldn't show up to his wedding just to piss him off. Well, there's part of a drill bit in there. I don't think I'm going to... I don't feel like messing with that right now. We'll come back to that. Or not. I just should be able to sand. Let's wait for it to set a little bit more. I don't know how durable these things are going to be, but hey, I'll give it a shot. They'll look good in pictures, maybe. but the sprue wasn't cutting it. It was getting too brittle. 9 folks. KV2s. The scale of game in this one is the KV2s, to tell you the kind of game that this is. Well, you KV2 fans are here. Let me pull out the rules and I'll tell you what I'm talking about as soon as I find them. I think they're up in the top of the closet. Is this them? Yep. All right. Now these are even thicker because they're coated in plastic. And these are the rules that I like. And if you don't like them, that's cool. I'm not trying to convert anybody to this. The Face of Battle, they're out of print anyways. If they wanted people to play them, they'd put them back in a print. And it's super thick, but it's also even thicker than because it's plastic coated. But unlike DBA, these rules make sense. And they're that thick because there's rules for everything. And nothing is abstract, or pretty much nothing is abstract. So I'm going to go over to the section here where it goes vehicles. And what I'm getting at is how much see, this is what makes this game cool. You have a Flampanzer 3, which basically looks like this, except it has a flamethrower barrel. I've got one in the case there, whatever. Okay? It can shoot up to 30 inches away. It's flamethrower. So, that's the kind of game what you see is what you get in this game. But anyways, the rotation speed of the KV2's turret would definitely come into play. And, or lack of rotation speed, I should say. I was going to look and see what where that is. I don't really have a table to sit this on, and this thing's slippery as snot, so. Yeah, so here it talks about the field of fire there of the T-35. Oh, here it is. KV-2A. This massive AFV mounted a 152 millimeter howitzer and mobile bunker of 100 millimeter steel armor. The size and weight of the turret made it difficult to traverse. Over 130 of these vehicles were produced, most effectively as stationary field guns in a Finnish war. Okay? The traverse can only turn 15 degrees per action. The gun may not traverse when a vehicle's on a slope. If you're any kind of a slope, the gun can't traverse. And it's 15 degrees per action. So every turn, your gun's only going to go that much. So it's easier for people to get around behind you. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, that's absurd. Most vehicles are like 30 or 45 degrees each one. Okay. Now we got enough oomph for it to hold in place. Just leave coaching it here for a while, and then we can walk away from this. So yeah, that's what it simulates, if you play something like Command Decision or something like that, you'll look at, a T-34 or something like that, and the stats on a T-34 are much better than Panzer IIIs and stuff. But you start looking at something that's really tactical, zoomed in like this, and the crew efficiency of a 3-man turret is really going to set an experience apart from a 2-man turret. It's still going to have problems penetrating and stuff, but in actual range, you're still going to have to get lucky at certain angles with some vehicles, but okay, I think we're good there. Other guys are still erect. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, Panzer II. The Panzer II ought to look really good. You know, this tiny little guy with these. It's a recon vehicle. It's got to have some big freaking antennas. This is going to be the kicker. Is this one going to be durable enough? I think so. Okay. Yeah, the rule book is huge, but it's because everything's in there. None of it is difficult to understand. You know? And it plays like a slow action movie. If you've seen that the horrible storyline of that Russian movie called T-34. It's on Netflix or Amazon or something like now. The special effects are incredible in that movie. You're in luck if you have 10 of those, yeah. Which one, the KVs or the Panzer IIs? Yes. There's not too many Panzer IILs made. No. If you watch T-34, that's how this game plays. It's all like slow motion. But it's a great narrative. This game plays as an excellent narrative, and that's what I like. You know, it's like a movie. This Panzer III looks so much better with the freaking antenna on it. It really, really does. So, and we'll paint it black, of course, or damn near black. You know, we're not going to make it metallic because it'll just be, you know, too shiny. But DNB, damn near black. Okay, this guy's going to get kicked at some point because I don't want to do this kind of surgery right now. As I mess with it. Yeah. Well, I'm going to do something crazy that I wasn't able to do before. Let me put my glasses on so I can find it. Here. Remember those magnets I had? I wonder if I can pull that piece out with a magnet. Maybe, I probably can. Maybe not these because they're not strong enough. Yeah, because these are definitely steel. Maybe if I dig enough around it. That could have been bad. I do my own stunts. This is the tank that I meant to epoxy out, but I did not. So what we're going to end up doing here is, that's plastic. I may have to take this whole thing out and just put a replacement in there. Yeah, I can tell it's still in there. It went in there deep. Could rebuild this out of green stuff. Yeah, it's still there. All right, let me see if I can do this. This kind of stuff doesn't discourage me because it's like, okay, I found another way. Here, see, here it is. The Panzer surgeon. Here's, oh, okay, it's broke in there with a piece of metal that was included with the metal wire one that was in there. Interesting. Okay, let's put that back. Okay, now, as magnets cause all kinds of interesting situations. It's like, it's like trying to polish a turd. Trying to get in a fight with somebody that's covered in shit. You're going to get shit on you. What do I think about Plastic Soldier Company? I think they're excellent. I only have one gripe about Plastic Soldier Company. And they're not perfect, but the only gripe I have is they have a problem getting the product into people's hands. They're not easy. It's like they have a limited run and they run out of things, and they're difficult to get a hold of. And unfortunately, they're across the pond. Other than that, they're my favorite manufacturer. Why? Well, they give you lots of extra stuff. They're a good value. They have crisp detail that goes together almost without glue. Some of their barrels and stuff are oversized, which means they're durable. What else? They have one-piece tracks. They have good detail. Their plastic is crisp, and yet it has a little bit of elasticity. I don't like kits that the plastic is super brittle, especially when you're taking some pieces off. You're praying that they don't break. I just like them all around. Now, some of their kits can be inaccurate, but they're wargaming models. I mean, we're not going to enter them in an IPMS competition. Or at least I'm not. And I had that. Okay, Ben, where's that 90 degree turn one? You're my spotter. It's your turn to watch me. If it doesn't turn up really quick here, then I'm going to wait. I'm going to make the rest of this out of green stuff. Yeah, it's kind of unnecessary, but there it is. I like Plastic Soldier Company, and I like S Model too. Again, S Model's problem, they're out of China, and they're impossible to get their stuff. But S Model breaks the mold on people that say that things made in China are a piece of crap. That might be, but that stuff isn't. S Model stuff is incredible. The only bad thing about Plastic Soldier Company is no decals. Oh, I found it. You guys are dying for me to do a KV2. I will. I would do it justice. And I would, I would paint all that stuff on the side, like, your mother is a hamster and, that kind of crap. The screw you, you fascist dog, or all the good motivational communist speaking that they like to put on there. So mind these antennas. Are we still good? We're still good on antennas. Excellent. These Penzer 3 ones like to be incorrigible a little bit, but we'll straighten them out as it's drying. It's easy to fix and put a new one, that's for sure. Yeah, I think the Flames of War stuff is actually, they give you lots of free stuff too, don't they? So now some of the Flames of War kits are definitely on the cartoony looking, meaning some of their stuff doesn't look 100% accurate. I'm gonna wait on this. I don't want to build something out of green stuff, but that's all it's gonna take is I'll put a little green stuff glob on there and then glue this in, and she'll be good to go. Okay, so I'm gonna put her back in the case where she's safe, but that's how we're gonna proceed with that Panzer III. And I've got to rearrange this case. I got to move my 15mm stuff off to the side. I got too many tanks now. They're going to push all that other stuff out of the way. Well, I'm going to use a little boys' room. I'll be right back in a jiffy. You know, this isn't a hurry hobby. I mean, look how long I've been working on this. Over an hour, and I've only put a few antennas in. It just takes time, but, you know, it's not a you need to be in a hurry type of thing. Now, this one, this Panzer III H, has a little spot for a pre-built antenna that was a piece of shit. So let's pull it out. And we should have a spot already pre-drilled for an antenna. And remember we had this one that we put over here. Let's go ahead and grab it and make sure that it's not going to be long enough for what we need it, but boy, I just can't see 2 feet away from me. Well, I had it and then it disappeared. It was right there. I'll be getting some more of this stuff. I think this is the way forward. Does anyone build Hail Caesar Spartan Warriors? Well, all you need is Spartans in 28mm. Lots of people make that. Yeah, sometimes the Flames of War, what I was getting at is, some of the Flames of War models are definitely cartoonish looking. And that's not to say that some of the things in this scale are also not cartoonish looking. I don't personally have a problem with that. I kind of think it has it gives them caricature. But this has got to be drilled out deeper. Since we're in that mode, I don't mind them chunky, but if you look at pictures of, like, you know, Panzer IIIs or something like that, they're definitely, they don't look like a cartoon. They look like a graphic novel. So, you know, like a nice cartoon. And I actually don't mind that look. It might bother some people, but it doesn't bother me. Now, we do not want to go through this. So we may just have to stop right there. How far did we go? About that. Let's give it 1 or 2 more turns. 1, 2. All right, we'll stop there. Let's see how this is. Just enough. Okay. Are we ready to do that? All right. This guy needs some crosses on it, which they shattered last night. The ones I had for it, they were really, 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 really old. The only thing I don't like about these micro scale decals is that they give me some here that I have not seen any on a real vehicle. And what I mean by that is, and I like how they look, these that they have the black and they have the white around them, but around the white they also have a little black thing. I've never seen those on a vehicle, or I haven't seen any on a picture of a vehicle. So I'm leery of using them. So that really limits being able to use those. I got one left there. I hate having to order decals. I've had to do it so many times that I need to try to use up the stuff that I have and not get other stuff. This lot that I was given are the new Flames of War, and it looks slimmer than the older stuff. Oh, so they're changing their style. Yeah, I would love to use these. They would look good. I've just never seen them on a vehicle. This right here. Well, here's a bigger version of them. You can see better. See these right here? They've got white around them, and there's black around the white. I've never seen those on a picture of a vehicle. They look good. It's not that I don't like them. They look good. I've just never seen them on any vehicle. Should just put them on there and say F it. I have no idea what vehicle they would be on. Now, let me take a look at this. Also, no. All right, let me use my Google foo. Let me use my Google foo. Because I need to finish decaling this one so I can weather it, and that's one step forward. We got the J that's already done, which I think turned out incredible. Incredible. Love this. Love how this vehicle turned out. And the J and the H. Sorry, and this one's smaller. It's okay. I had it. It's 1/76 scale. Whatever. And I got this guy, the Frankenpanzer, which we're going to leave in Dunkelgelb, and the Panther, which its barrel comes in on Monday. This is the next batch of 4. So we're going to use the Google foo, and we're going to do a search for German Balkan Kreuz with black around edge of white, and see if I get some, and see what it tells me about when they were used, because I hate for it to be like they only used it in 1945. Okay, so if you go on Wikipedia, which I don't have a problem with Wikipedia, different World War II styles of the Balkan Kreuz. Okay, I'm looking for 2. Item number 2. Or I'd hate for it to be something that they only used on planes. White cross, black core cross and white flanks. Luftwaffe used to become standard basic FV for war. Luftwaffe used 2 specifics, one with narrower white flanks on upper surfaces, one with wider white flanks surrounded, the same with central black cross beneath the wings, fuselage side aircraft. Okay, well, it's one of those there. Let me do an images. Okay, well, we got stuff that we cannot show on the internet here, or for issues that people would have a problem with it. It might be an aircraft one, and that's a shame, because it means I don't have a damn use for them. And that might be why I don't see any use of it. Because I've never seen one on a vehicle. And I like how it looks. It's not that I dislike how it looks. Yeah. I'm leery of using that and then having a problem. DAC PDF I found. There's several slimmer crosses with the black lines. Yeah. Yep. No, those are good for early, and I actually like how those look. But let me see. Can I salvage any of them, or are we gonna have to order some of these over the internet? Yeah, that's this style here. These thinner ones, which, these are 1/72nd. I'm sorry, this is a 48 scale stuck between here. We could use these. See, these are too thin. Those are still too thin. Those have the edging on them, which, like I said, I like how it looks, but I've never seen a vehicle with them on them. Never. This set doesn't have any crosses. Those are too big. God, I hate throwing money at the problem. It really bugs me. This one, there's only one left. That's useless. No, I'm SOL. Okay. Well, no, I'm not. I'm going to move on. I will move on. Okay, so that's my homework assignment. I did check out the Panther. I didn't check out the Black Book. It's not available on Netflix anymore. Balkan Kritzen. So I need more than one. Is that plural for it? It should be if it isn't. I only know Blitzkrieg German. All right. Well, we can go ahead and paint the antennas on these vehicles, and then they will be completely done. Let's do that. That's something we have to do anyways. Keep it going. Keep it moving. All right, we don't need a brush that's tiny. This one should just do just fine. Already dried out on me. Where is, I'm not going to use damn near black. I'm going to use black. The guy who's painting I like uses black too, or it looks like it, so that's what we're going to use. I found the big cross with a black outline on something. A captured universal carrier. I could make one of those. I got a couple universal carriers. Nah, my Brits are going to need something in there. Of course, the Brits need troops more than anything else. And I have the troops, I just haven't painted them yet. And I've got guys I really like. I really like the figures for them. But I'm pretty sure that the Brits are going to go to Italy. The only thing I don't like about Italy is that the German units that were in Italy aren't very exciting. They're not well known, and some of them have some stupid markings. That 26th Panzer Division, just a stupid marking unit. And the only reason I ran out of crosses is about half of them shattered. As soon as you put them in water, they shattered. Not all at one time, but just over the course of doing these. They're really old. They're really old kits. Not just any universal carrier, the one with a 25 millimeter Hotchkiss AT gun mounted. That's a good gun. That's a good gun. Against vehicles. I finished watching that movie Narvik the other day. It's available on Netflix. I actually liked it. You know, not as a war movie. As a matter of fact, the parts I liked the least about it were actually the conflict parts. But it made me, you know, it did what a war movie is supposed to do in my book. It made me read about the real conflict. And I'm aware of the Norwegian campaign from a naval aspect, but not from a land aspect. So it made me look up some stuff I wasn't aware of. Okay, so this little guy's done. Beep, beep. Because we all know that's exactly the sound that they make. Panzer III's down here. Who was it that did a video on? Oh yeah, the guy from Portugal. He did a post that he built this vehicle I'd never seen before in my life. And it's a vehicle that apparently Rommel had at like El Alamein, and it had like a 75 millimeter gun on like a half-track body with like a tiny turret that was open-topped. Just a strange vehicle. I'd never heard about it before. I mean, I heard about the Dianas. Only made a handful. But sometimes, you know, you look up things and you find things you didn't even know. Like, I wasn't aware there was a Flammpanzer 1. And it was it was a Panzer 1 that was fitted with a flamethrower. And they were used in North Africa. And they were kind of jerry-rigged, literally, by the Bloody Jerrys. Okay, she's done. Okay. And Panthers Los. Got one here. I particularly like how this one turned out. Considering this thing looked awful when I got it. Where'd you come from? Jeez. Inanimate things that misbehave. Okay, and this is the one we need to come up with a commander. The commanders are laying around here somewhere. It's not like they got lost. They just got misplaced. And it's my own fault for trying to work on too many things at once and trying to keep the momentum going. Like I said, okay, I don't have those crosses. Fine, I'll work on something else. Just got to keep the ball moving. Now, since this technically is done, this is a panther that's complete. Let's take a look at this one, and then one I did about 25 years ago. And although this isn't horrible, it's not very good compared to the other one. So I'm probably going to repaint it. This is a Hasegawa panther. So another G. So another G. And I only like the A better because it was involved in more conflicts. G's don't start rolling in until mid 44, mid-late 44. Okay. We don't need to keep this guy around anymore. Let's put him back in the case. And I do want the other ones because we're going to take a picture of them all complete, and I haven't done that yet. And I really like this little guy. And the colors just don't do it justice, what you guys are seeing. It always washes everything out. It always washes everything out when you look at it on the video, for whatever reason. But I'm really happy with those. So, we'll keep these guys here as well. Let's get them out of the way. Let's get them out of the way, but not knock them over, please. Okay. So tomorrow, my goal is going to be to paint these guys black. Get the ball rolling on this. This is such an ugly vehicle. But it's going to be really neat. And, yeah, and the crew for it as well. So, all right. Where are we at? We can't proceed with that because we don't have the crosses, don't have the barrel for that. So we do need to look at the cross option. And this could stand being in black. I guess I could brush paint this. Look at these old things. This is by a company called Lizard's Grin. Houston ships Lizard's Grin. These are old Protz trucks that are rather rough looking. I had glued, this is one of those boxes off a T-34. So I'm actually going to pull that off and we're going to put it on a T-34. Yeah. And this is probably what we're going to test the AK colors in the Panzer Gray. Only because I'm, this is another part for a T-34 also. Very ugly, no detail. Yeah, they're old. Do you say the year? No, they're super old. These are pieces from a T-34. And I got T-34s now. I'd rather them be on the T-34s than on this. particular vehicle. Yeah. These are actually plastic boxes from the German Mountain Troop set. So I am going to figure out how to make this stuff out of green stuff. I don't know yet. Like I said, I don't want to learn on camera because you guys will be giving me all kinds of tips and I'll be like, won't get anything done because I'm looking at them all the time. But I've got a clue. I haven't done it before, but I got a clue. So what I'm really looking forward to next week, is to solve this. And I'm going to bring this up for you guys who haven't seen it. I'm very proud of this, and I'm going to make something amazing. Just you wait. And that is Woodland Scenics Trees. I put a magnet in the bottom of it. Okay? So I'm going to make these cutouts of trees with the trees not permanently down on a metal plate that'll be thin and it'll be magnetic. So I should be able to just put them on there and then remove them when you need to put an anti-tank gun. I do like the ones that are pre-made, okay? And just a little bit of dry brushing on this makes all the world of this. This is just solid one color. You just add like 2 colors of dry brush and it makes all the difference in the world. Mess with the trunk a little bit, but I'd like to have these trees that are all, independent, You're not like committed to having to put them, either have those silly round bases or anything else. I have high hopes that this is going to be a really cool thing. And I hate to steal my own thunder, but it's kind of hard to contain myself how excited I am about this. So then you could put, a pack 40 in there, whatever, right? And then you need to move these things out of the way because the pack 40 goes there. Then you move it, and you need to measure something, take the tree off, okay, put the tree back, kind of thing. Because the trees are going to have an obstruction within the template of the woods, not necessarily an individual tree. That would just be crazy. But I have probably 60 trees like this, and I plan on converting them all to having the magnets on them. But I tried one because I want to get the plate, make sure that it has enough of a grip on it, and then cover the plate with some kind of ground cover or color and make sure we still have enough magnetizing to it. And if that works, then I'll proceed forward. But yeah, so that's coming up ahead. Like I said, we're gonna do this right, or we're not gonna do it at all. I get tired looking at these wargaming magazines. These people have these awesome play areas that you see photos from, and I've never gotten a chance to play in something that looks that cool. Well, if I'm going to play this game, it's going to look that awesome. That's my goal. That's my, dare I say, mission statement. Ooh. Feel dirty just saying that. But maybe it'll be something cool. But I look forward to it. All right. So where are we at right now? This moment is just shy of 9, so it's not quitting time just yet. I wasn't expecting the crosses to really throw me a curveball. That was a curveball. And I'd do the Panzer Commander if I knew where the hell he was at. But I think at this point then I'm going to go ahead and try to paint this. Because that way, if I paint it, I don't have to do the airbrush to it. I could just, when I do the airbrush, I just do the other stuff. So we're going to paint this. We're going to go ahead and paint the gun crew as well. Find some guys that work on here. Here's one. These are a mixture of different. I want this guy with a shell in his hand. Maybe even this guy. Let's do that guy. He's a better casting. We're going to get a driver here. And that guy as well. We have a commander. What's this guy carrying? Let's do these guys. Let's paint all that up. We've got to do it anyways. Such an ugly vehicle, this RSO pack, but it's going to look even cooler when it looks awesome. Got to think positive. If somebody can make it look cool, I can. I promise. I'm going to try. Trucks are very cool. I agree. And that's the problem when you do micro armor, is nobody gives a shit about trucks. But in this scale of game, you can use trucks to run people over. Fun, fun. Wouldn't want to miss out on that. Let's go ahead and do the figures first. I'm just going to recoat these guys. I believe these are Drew's Militia guys. Now these guys are guys that are going to be able to do double duty. They can be part of the pack crew. They can be, in a standard anti-tank gun. They can be part of the crew here on this RSO. This guy. It's another one of these companies that's defunct. Came across, somebody made a comment the other day that they were a long-time World War II player, but they never played Eastern Front. I'm like, how can you not play Eastern Front? Any decent one-stop shop books for late war German vehicle colors, preferably covering the latter end of the Italian campaign. Been tempted by there for these Panzer Grenadiers. Well, to be honest with you, if I was going to, you're doing Flames of War, aren't you? Their site is excellent. The Flames of War site is excellent. I've used it for lots of stuff. There's so much available online. I wouldn't even buy a book. The only thing you got to know is there's two different colors of Dunkelgelb. Well, there's actually more than that, but two main ones. You've got the standard one that looks kind of like this. It's almost mustard looking. And then really late war, there was another color that was almost like a buff. But that one doesn't show up until like 1945. So, I think MiG makes a really good one. I wasn't really sold on this stuff, but this stuff really is amazing for airbrushing. It's really my favorite. So, doing them based for skirmish games like Chain of Command and that sort. Chain of Command is almost the game I would probably play Chain of Command and modify it. In other words, add more detail to it if I didn't have the Face of Battle. Because there's a lot to like about it. I like the decisions that you get to make with, how you manage your dice and stuff like that. It's some interesting problems. I do like Chain of Command in that respect. I don't like it in that there's, when you start seeing like obvious errors, things that like everybody should know in the rules, then I'm wondering what else is in there that I haven't really considered. And here's the problem with brush painting this stuff, is it doesn't cover really well. And if I airbrushed it, it would cover really well. But I don't want to go airbrush out there right now. So we're just going to give it a coat. I've hand painted this stuff on before, and I will do it again. And it's not that big of a deal. So here's the underside. This is what I had to create in case you guys didn't see that mess here. But It's it works. It's definitely more solid than probably what it came with, but it's just a bunch of logs thrown together on there. It's wood I've had for like probably 30 years and never touched it. So, yay, something I had sitting around probably and used it finally. But I'd do a Google image search, Panthers in Italy or Panzer fours in Italy, and you'll start getting some glimpses of things that are common to all of them. Some stuff. I don't know if you have an airbrush or not, but it's not necessary. A lot of the camouflage was hand painted. Of course, it looks kind of rough, but it was kind of rough. So my plan with this is to do three color with this with squiggly lines, really, really thin ones. I don't know if I'll be able to pull it off. I got to get the thickness of the paint just right and get everything to, I get all the plants to align and everything, but I'd like for it to be, wavy, vertical lines on this in the three colors. So we'll see what we'll end up with when we get done with this. I didn't like how the half track one turned out. That was the first one that I had airbrushed. And when I was done with it, I was really happy with the result. So sometimes when you initially do something, it doesn't turn out how you want it to. You just got to tinker with it a little bit more. Give it some time, mess with it a little bit, and not get discouraged. But I don't have any particular books that are specific, and I have a lot of them. I don't have any that are specific to Italy. But I'm a huge fan of Google image searches. Now you have to have kind of a clue what you're looking for. And, sometimes things are labeled incorrectly. And at some point, you kind of have to just be happy with what you have. Like, I think I read one time that Zimmerit was pretty much applied universally on some vehicles. And so if you're building like Panther A's, all Panther A's are pretty much going to have Zimmerit from the factory. Because Panther A's started to come out after Zimmerit was already being applied. And so you shouldn't have any Panther A's that have no Zimmerit. And then the early G's will also have it as well. Not to mention some D's are probably gonna have it as well. But there was quite a few Panther D's that went to Italy. Italy was kind of a secondary theater. So there's vehicles you'll see in Italy that are prominent there, specifically more than in other zones. Brumbars are common. Stugs or Stugs. Stugs are really common. It's kind of a secondary theater. So you're going to see Panzer 4 Gs last in Italy longer than they would in France and stuff like that, or Russia. Elephants, I believe most of the elephants got sent to Italy. Brumbars. You'll see a pretty high tendency of Panzer IVs of the H variety to have only the turret skirts, not the ones on the hull. And I'm guessing it's probably because of the terrain in Italy is much rougher than it is in Russia as a whole. And uneven ground and hilly and that kind of stuff. And I'm sure in an uneven ground, you're going to lose shirts and left and right. That seems to be kind of a trend. You'll see Panzer IIIs being used in Italy longer than in other places. Although by 1944, they're pretty much gone everywhere. Flammpanzer IIIs, which they only made about 100 of them. Those were popular in Italy. And that's one of those things that, in the steppes of Russia, it's going to be hard to get a Panzer III up to the enemy and to flame them. You need to go through the woods and stuff like that so you don't get taken out at long range. And in Italy, it was a lot more useful for that to happen because of the, broken ground. So, they didn't make very many of them, but that's kind of one of those things that kind of worked its way over there. No King Tigers in Italy, pretty sure, and very few Tiger 1s. I believe there was one heavy tank battalion that went to Italy. I don't remember which one, and we're talking about Italy, not Sicily. Sicily, Hermann Goering had some Tiger 1s, I believe. Yeah, I think it's cool. I might pick up the Vallejo German dark yellow primer to speed up the process along. See if I can find the MIG kit at my local shop. Yeah. So I have all of the Vallejo colors, or I used to, until they created more of them. And I prefer, for airbrushing, I prefer the MIG because I don't have to touch it. And for dry brushing, I prefer the Vallejo because it's thicker, But I like them both. They're both Spanish. What could go wrong? This stuff is a pain to airbrush because it's got some polyurethane type properties and it gunks up the airbrush. It doesn't make it difficult to spray, or nor does it splatter, but when it's time to switch colors and you want to get all this stuff out, it takes longer than it should. So hopefully you can find a little bit of use in those tidbits. But just use the Google image search. I probably wouldn't buy any books of something like that. It's just you're not gonna learn something that's more useful than what you can find on the internet on something of a subject like that one in particular. I'm not anti-book. I'm just saying that there's a lot of free stuff on the internet. And the other thing that's cool on the internet is 1/35th scale modelers. There's lots of excellent models that people have made 1/35th scale. Even though you're not doing 1/35th scale, it's still inspiration and ideas. You can at least see how some of the colors go on the vehicle and go, I don't like how that looks, so you don't do that, Or likewise, you can see how some things turned out and be like, I want to try that out. Some things look good in practice, and then you get them on there, and you're like, I wish I hadn't done that before. Well, if you see a picture of somebody else doing it, and you don't care for it, then you can avoid making that particular thing yourself in that way and be disappointed. But Italy is an interesting theater that I don't know a whole lot about. And that's part of the appeal. But that's the stuff I've found in my travels. I'm sure I'm going to have more information if I do end up going to the Italian theater for the British. But the Zimmer was kind of a... Now, if I have a Panther A and it doesn't have Zimmerit on it, I'm just like, well, that's just one of the ones that missed it. I'm not going to go and add Zimmerit to it, but that's something that I found that was pretty interesting. That basically all the Panther A's had Zimmerit on them. Applied at the factory. And some pictures of it, it looks awful. It looks like Stevie Wonder put it on. And I don't mean that in a good way. I mean, he did a horrible job. I half chose Italy because I have some Gurkhas, and Italy is about the only place they showed up in Europe. Yeah. Yeah. Gurkhas and Fallschirmjägers. And there is some SS in Italy, but it's that the Hermann Göring, the Reichsfuhrer. I want to say I can't remember what number it is, but the interesting thing about SS though, and I didn't know this, and probably most people don't know this because it's illogical, is that as a general rule, the SS did not have a better distribution of vehicles than the regular army did. Now, did the SS, did the 12th SS Hitlerjugend have better vehicles than, the 9th Panzer Division that was down in the south of France? I believe the 9th was down in the south of France. Yes, but Hitlerjugend did not have a better selection of vehicles than, say, Panzerlehr. Just like the SS divisions at Kursk did not have a better selection of vehicles than Grossdeutschland. But so I'm not really sure what the distribution of the Reichsfuhrer SS division had, but actually I don't even know what their symbol looks like, to be honest with you. I'm sure it's got a rune, at least one rune in there somewhere. But 26th Panzer was there. I want to say the reconstituted 24th was there. 24th was one of those that disappeared at Stalingrad and got rebuilt. And a couple of Panzer Grenadier divisions. That might have been the only, only big unit, and one of the Tiger battalions. 2 units of the Elephants. And it's kind of interesting. I think it's just different than the standard fare of everything else, And I want to do it because the British vehicles, you have an opportunity to do some interesting camouflage on them, Although none of my British vehicles would have a white star on them. I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. I don't care if they used it historically. It looks wrong. It looks inappropriately wrong. Like they don't deserve to use a roundel, which some of them did do them in the desert and even in other places. I'm not doing a white star on non-American vehicles. I keep bringing that up, but that's the thing I keep kicking around. The dead horse I like to beat. Tony's dead horse he likes to beat. Okay, so it's like 9:15. I'm going to call it a night because I got to do some research on these Balkan kreuzes to find out who I can get them relatively inexpensive from. I really don't want to buy them raw. Yeah, and I want to take some pictures of these vehicles because now that they're completely complete. But we'll be back on in the morning by 6:30. I'm going to try to do a workout before I get online. And you get in the habit of doing that, even if it's only for 30 minutes. But we'll see you guys in the morning. And as always, thanks for stopping by. We'll catch you guys on the next one.